Uh, hey, friends, this is Paul DeBattings, online known as Minnesota Headhunter, and I've had an idea for a few years that I wanted to interview some of my friends here in the technology community, both here in Minneapolis and across the region, and then also some recruiter and HR friends. And so I'm doing a sort of a first sort of series of interviews or chats. I'm pretty notorious for saying to someone, "Hey, can you got 10 minutes?" And 10 minutes turns into 45. So that's why we're going with 10 minutes. Nels is already. Everyone always snickers when I say this because they know it's true.
That's funny. I love that your calendar invite even says 10 minutes, but it goes from
45.
Just planning it out yourself.
So I appreciate. So Nels Pederson is a tech friend here in town. We've become more acquainted over the last weeks and months. We're into day 2, Twin Cities Startup Week. So first of all, thank you for taking us for some time out. Instead of me trying to give some sort of a canned sort of intro to you, Nels, you just mind doing your own? Like, who are you? Like, what's going on? How do you and I get here?
Yeah. So I'm I guess by day, an early stage tech startup guy. I've been doing a few of my own projects and worked with a lot of others in town. And right out of college was right when Startup Week started. And I was connected with Ryan Brosher and a few of the other people that helped start it in town. And they needed some help. And so I linked up with that. And that's kind of where I am right now. I'm actually a part of the Techstars program as well as an associate. So I have many different hats that I wear and many different T-shirts that I've gotten from all the different jobs that I've had.
So yeah, speaking of which, right, we got our Startup Week T-shirts on.
Look at that.
Show them off.
No, it's been great. I kind of had exposure to everything in the startup world. Worked in venture capital with Matchstick Ventures, and then got in the accelerator experience this summer. It's been a ton of fun.
So give me the history though, Twin City Startup Week, because I don't even know if I know it. This is what, our third year now?
Yeah, year 3. So this was back in 2014. The original founders came together, and this is actually a page out of, I believe it's Boulder's book. And what we wanted to do was take all of that energy that was happening within the Twin Cities and put it into one week. And there were events at the time like Beta, Mini Demo, Startup Weekend, Minnesota Cup that had really, really great followings. And just, like I said, a lot of energy around them. The problem was there wasn't a ton of communication between the events, and they all happened throughout the year at different times. So we wanted to funnel it in and then also open it up to the community to host other events. So I actually looked back at an old tech.mn post. Year 1, we released our calendar or our schedule, and it's like 16 events, which is cool. And they were mostly the partner events, or like the nighttime events that you see now, things that were already out there. And then we had it was just really successful. And organically from year 1 to year 2, we realized, or we opened it up. And I think we had close to 50 events, which is really cool. At this point, we're all volunteers. It is really scrappy in the sense of how things are ran.
Yeah.
I don't think we didn't take too many sponsor dollars, but the sponsors we did work with in year 2 were awesome. But then year 3, we now open it up, and really, and I mean it truly organically, we've grown to, I think we're close to 90 events now. The number keeps ticking up. We're offering things like free co-working at 7 different places throughout the Twin Cities. Just really, really cool. It went from being this small kind of almost test or beta thing. Beta is in like just, let's try it out thing, to, we're a legitimate nonprofit now. We're here to make cool things happen. And so we have a ton of events. And if you check out this year's schedule compared to last year's, they're so diverse. And that's what I'm super proud of, and I want to continue doing. I'm seeing faces that I have never seen before, and it's really, really cool to just keep adding, new interested people into the mix, and events that I would never have thought existed. We have like check out the schedule. There's just a really ton of really cool diverse events. So we're super excited about it.
And so that's TwinCitiesStartupWeek.com.
Yep.
So I did a presentation that first year at Coco, recruiting for startups. I had 25 some people in there. We had
nice.
our event yesterday. And with Phil, Victoria, and Patrick, we had 115 people sign up and more than 75 attend.
No shit. That's
so
I was
and
at
you,
That's
and
awesome.
you were there. So how'd we do, by the way?
It was good. I was not there at the first one, but from the attendance numbers, it sounds like you were 3 times better.
Actually, yeah. When
at least 3 times better from year 1 to year 3.
I'm not shy.
On the speaking side of it,
The
3 times more interesting.
Phil, like I said it yesterday too, right? I think Tech.mn just posted I'm only about 25. I'm just fast forwarding through the video from yesterday to see if I said anything wholly inappropriate, because I know I swore a few times. So before I promote it,
you were telling everybody you're about to swear, so you really people can leave if they had to.
But I want to watch the video before I actually go promote it to make sure I don't look like an idiot. But it is that part about these things being really organic. So one of the things I'm curious about, right? So I had started my Minnesota Recruiters group years ago. We put on 15, 17 events or whatever. Let's pretend no one's going to see this besides you and I. Yeah. Like, how much time are you putting into this? How much of a pain in the ass is it? Are people cool to work with? If they could just get their stuff done on time, that would make things better, including me.
I'm not joking when I say that everybody has been really good. And I'm very serious with that. Everybody has been awesome to work with. It is, in some cases, like when you're collecting event information, you feel a little bit like you're herding cats. But I've learned to be completely shameless when it comes to emailing because everybody's super busy. And if if I'm well intentioned and I bug you on email, I don't feel bad about it. Usually you get back to me. But no, I'm surprised. The really cool thing that I like about our organic growth, and I tie it to our organic growth, is that people really understand the mission of what we're trying to do. And because of that, our partners that we work with, our sponsors, are just amazing. And they also trust that we're doing the right thing. So in a lot of ways, we have a lot of autonomy to make what should happen. So I've been impressed. And I would tell you if it was the other way around. That said, like a ton of hours have been put into it. Just logistically, there is a lot that needs to happen. And I'm very human, so I make a ton of mistakes on the site. And there's a lot of back and forth emailing that goes on with
that. This is to make me feel a little bit better. Clearly, someone had to have been a bigger pain in the ass than me, though, right?
Okay,
that's an awkward.
Probably.
That was an awkward giggle of applause.
I'm trying.
I need to say, like, so the people those who will watch this, I was going through a bit of a logo rebranding thing. Nels is sending me emails saying you missed a deadline, you missed the second one, dude. Where's your stuff? You didn't swear at me, so I appreciate that, although you should have. I was just hoping though that you instinctively would have said someone else actually was worse than you. So I'm afraid that I have a crown now, the biggest pain in the ass right here. But I'll do better next year, I promise.
Biggest pain in the ass, but the best logo or best new logo. So, I mean, in the end, I understand the timing.
Yeah.
Or why you needed the extra time, because you were crafting a masterpiece.
So, I don't know. Well, I'm sure that my friend Maren Hogan at Omaha will be appreciative that Red Branch did a kick-ass job, and you just said so. Talk to me a little bit about. So we did the fly-in program last year with Greater MSP, and I want you to talk about it. But I got to tell you, it was so cool when you said, when you introduced me to two of the folks, and there was a third later on that was there too.
Yeah.
That we started about 11:30 yesterday morning, and we already had two people from the fly-in program in. It was freaking awesome, dude. So talk a little bit about that. Like, what's the idea behind it? How does it work? And frankly, how does someone like me help them make it better for next year?
Yeah. It's the flying program is really simple. We have a ton of amazing companies that are recruiting because they're growing fast. They need talent. They need help. We love Minnesota. We want to make it easier for them to meet people outside of Minnesota. And it's a win-win for everyone because we get to bring talented people here. The people that are coming in get an awesome job, and then the companies get really good talent. So it was really a no-brainer for us. And it's what we do is we just help subsidize people's flights. They get to come check out Startup Week, so they get immersed into the crowd. And then I mean it when I say we try to hold their hand as much as we can, so that while they are here, they get a sneak peek into what events they should go to, but they also get to meet the recruiters that they want to. So it's a lot of time and effort has been put into it, and it's one of the most rewarding and I think coolest things that we've really done a great job with this year. And I'm excited to see what comes from it, because I know it's not you'll get a job right after Startup Week, but it's kind of a longer thing that we'll need to track. But I'll have to look at our numbers, but we have 15 people coming in this week from outside of Minnesota, and they're all really actively looking to work here, which is sweet. And then when you talk about like the events that we have, and yesterday I was sitting next to two flying members without even knowing, and I'm introducing myself randomly, and I introduced myself to Elise, and no shit, we had been emailing each other for at that point a couple of weeks because we were trying to plan our trip out. So it was really cool. I mean, I love what's happening with it, and this is something that I really want to be successful. Not only because there's a ton of power in it, but there are so many people that need to learn more about Minnesota and what's happening here. So if we do it well, we can continue to grow it.
So here's my commitment. I'm already in for next year too.
Boom. Love it.
And I'll get ahead of the curve instead of being behind the curve. It's interesting too that you say that, because Laura from Omaha, who's originally from Minnesota, going to school at Creighton, right? Thank you for that introduction yesterday. Her and I were nerding out. Turns out we're already following each other on Instagram. Like, I don't know how it happened, but from weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago,
really?
She started following me. I started following her on Instagram. So, and I saw Elise last night. So she was at the Beta MN event. Yeah. And she was like meeting a lot of people. And I know that some folks were literally just saying, after they heard that she was flying in for this, people on their own were like bouncing her around to other people.
No, and it's so cool. I mean, everybody's kind of made it their own little personal mission to get these people jobs. And it's cool. I love it. And it's really fun. And the recruiters we work with too at these companies they're awesome. They're interested. It's cool.
So well done on this. But sincerely, I'm in. Like, this just makes so much sense from a recruiting perspective. We can get ahead of the PR game next year. Like, we should probably start doing it in June or July instead of, I didn't think about it until August.
That's a beautiful thing about it too. I mean, we talk about organic growth. We had a form on our website. I mean, there's nothing real technical about it on Startup Week. We had a forum on our website. We did very little marketing towards it. And we didn't do a ton of PR push, and we got a lot of people signing up for it. So yeah, I'm looking to grow those numbers exponentially. Yeah. And I think there's a lot that can come from it.
Who are some of the folks who are, giving you a hand with this? Let's give them some, like, who did the logos? Who's obviously Target's a huge part of this. Like, who are some of the groups? And don't worry if you leave a couple out because they won't be offended. But like, who else is helping you? Who's lending a hand?
I got a list written down somewhere, but really big shout out just to our sponsors, Target especially. They have been amazing to work with. They are, they've been really, really helpful, flexible, and they're helping us host our events. They've done really amazing things with the Techstars program in town, and they really, really want what's best for the startup community here, and it's really cool, and genuine to see. So we have loved working with them. We have a ton, we have a ton of other great sponsors. Um, our fly-in program, we're working with you. We're working with When I Work,
Yeah.
Minneapolis Foundation, um, also Greater MSP. You guys have been great, and that fly-in program, especially, like I said, is one of the cooler things that's happening here. And then behind the scenes, not sponsors, Matt, and then Dan on the Greater MSP side, but then also Dalton to help place these people. It's been super cool, and this is stuff that we can't, as Startup Week. I'm not a recruiter. This is not my niche. I need to bring in people like you guys to help make it happen, because I would be terribly unsuccessful if I tried to do it alone. Other than that, just the week itself, we've been working with the socialites on the PR side, and also
they've done a really good job.
They are effing crushing it. They're really cool, awesome to work with. And they get an email from me every single day with some random thing to tweet out, and they're awesome. Really, really have loved working with them. Livefront, same thing with our website. Do a really great job. All of our designs, these things like that, and stickers. Yep. We have hoodies and whatnot. That came from Worrell, and the designer's name is Cody Malhorn, and he's crushing it. So, I mean, there's a ton more people. Our event hosts are amazing. They handle almost all the logistics for their events. Our partners are great too. So I describe the event as for the community, by the community. We are not a conference in that it's a top-down approach. It's very much everyone comes in and puts in their effort, and we just help make sure it runs smoothly, and then we add in what we can add in.
So for next year, how does someone get involved if they want to volunteer? Like, do you need more folks? I suppose as this thing continues to grow a little bit, right? So, like, what would you? Yeah. Who could you have used this year that you need for next year?
That's a really good question.
A clone of you.
Yeah, if there's a mirror image of me out there, we'll take them. No, we always need help. And I'm very public with my email address, my first and last name @gmail.com. And shoot me an email. We'll get you involved. I'm trying to think. We have a ton of what I've been doing with volunteers, which has actually been really successful. Is I've had multiple people reach out to me saying, "Hey, how can I help? I want to get involved." And usually it's at the event level. And when that's the case, I like putting them in touch with the events that they're really interested in, because it's hard, since everyone runs their own event. It's hard to work at multiple at once. But I like being that connector of saying, really passionate about investors, great. Like, go volunteer at this event. You get to meet whoever it is that's running it. And then we can go from there. So, well, I'm sure as we expand and we start thinking about what's new for next year, we'll have a whole new list of what roles we need to fill. But I got to add in a shout out on who helps make this happen. So we did something cool this year with our track leads, and these are people that source events for certain industries, and it's all part of our effort to help make a more diverse group of events and just a diverse startup week. So those people have helped make my life so much easier. And not only are they getting awesome events, they're just great people to work with. And you'll see, we have everything from high tech related events to food and agriculture, social, healthcare, video games, VR.
I met someone last night, Sarah Moe. She's doing a presentation tomorrow, and she's I don't even know what to call her, a sleep therapist.
A Coco, yeah.
She's so freaking smart and cool. So we were talking about coders and sleeping and productivity last night at the pitch after party.
Yeah.
We were still there till 11:15 talking last night, a few of us, and then we're like, crap, speaking of sleep, we should probably go home now. But it dawned on me, like, I want to get her in front of like a JavaScript meetup group
Yeah,
for 15 or 20 minutes to talk about those 16 hours a day. She was talking about sleep debt,
yeah.
like those kind, like, because I think of Startup Week, right, as like, here's how to code, here's how to be a product, here's how we do this, here's how to recruit. That's a phenomenal add-on or additional like life thing for people to pay attention to.
Oh, it totally is, and it's cool to hear that that bleed over is happening a little bit. As an anecdote, I was talking last night with Danielle Steer from the Impact Hub, and
Yeah.
they're doing an awesome series of events, and this is a great example of kind of melding two communities. And I was asking her how her event went. She said they're awesome. We had a ton new faces, some of the best turnout we've ever had, and it's really cool to hear. I mean, because it's so different than I think as large as our tech community can be, there are a lot of familiar faces. But then you start adding in groups like the social community, healthcare, whatever it is, and our pool gets much larger, and then the different sort of content that now available gets much larger. It's really cool.
I'll say at the end too, but I hope you know how much we appreciate the work you guys are putting in on this thing.
We're
like I said it yesterday during our recruiting thing, right? Like, can we maybe not do it the third week in September next year? Because I think this SourceCon event's going to be the third week in September next year too. So I don't have to lose half a week.
Once we all come back from vacation after this, we'll plan something out.
All right, cool. Talk to me a little bit about the highlights of the week. So I'll rip off some events. Tell me what I'm missing. So there are a lot of events that are going on during the day. And so last night we had the Beta MN. We had what I call, to me, that's the real grassroots part of our startup community. And then we had the pitch after party. Today's the Target Techstars demo day. Tomorrow is keep going because I've lost track since I won't be here.
Yeah. Those were both really cool events. Beta was awesome. And, the pitch, they're relatively new co-working space in town, Sports Tech, and they had a sweet space, and it was really awesome to host us. We have Techstars today, the demo day, which is really cool. And I'm a part of that program, so I'm biased. But I was at Orchestra Hall yesterday for our rehearsal.
Yeah.
And, looking at how big and crazy it is, I'm super excited for today. And
do you have a ballpark idea of what's the estimated folks that may attend that today? Nels. All right, so if you're watching this, I'm hoping Nels is going to come back because this is a part of I hit record, I don't stop. Nels is coming back. He's logged in. It hasn't happened before. So he's logging in. I see him. Oh, he's back.
There we go.
So
Good.
just so you know, I didn't hit stop. We're still recording. So then tomorrow. So I was asking the question about for the Orchestra Hall thing for Techstars today. What's the ballpark? How many folks registered to attend?
I think we cracked 1,000.
Holy shit!
Yeah. No, it's a.
Wait, I shouldn't have said that, but whoa.
No, that's shit worthy. That's if I you know how events work. Not everybody will show up.
Okay, so you get 700.
Yeah, get 700, right? Just no, seriously, it's
damn.
And I was in there like I want to see people up on this is Orchestra Hall, right? So they have the on the side. I want to see people up there, and what I'm in seeing the pitches, and it's not you're not listening to an orchestra. This isn't one of those let's be quiet, kind of let the person give their pitch and go for it. There's like hooting and hollering. You're supposed to be cheering, clapping for these people. So I want people to get rowdy tonight, and hopefully the wine and beer will help make that happen. But it's supposed to be a party to celebrate these awesome companies. So I'm hoping we can like break out of that Midwestern calm thing and go get excited for these people.
This now for sure. I need to do a follow up with Ryan next week. about
Yes,
this.
yeah, no, he'll share a similar thought. So that's happening tonight. That's really cool. There's actually we're in this like mode of after parties. So there's an after party at CBRE, which is not too far away downtown, um, which would be super cool. I was talking with the dudes over there, and I think they have more than enough booze planned for a very fun party. So if you're looking for something to do on Tuesday night, there's a plug. Lot going on Wednesday. For the related to startups, if you're looking for a job, there's the career fair, which I think is really cool. And
that's at the U of M.
Yep, over at Carlson. And then mini demo at night, which is always a blast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. Thursday, we have Minnesota Cup, and then we also like immediately afterwards in the same venue we have documentary. So feeling that, which would be super cool. And then on Friday is the start of Startup Weekend.
Yep.
It's awesome. I mean, I don't know if we don't have any other hackathons on our schedule. Yeah. So if you're really looking to like dive in, meet other like-minded people that are willing to, work together for 54 hours, that's the place to do it. Like it's run by two awesome dudes, Jeff and Mike, and they put a lot of time and energy to make sure that goes well. So I was gonna say those are the kind of big events that are happening at night, but there are a ton of really cool events during the week that will get great attendance, and I can't point them all out because there's a lot of them, but our schedule is no joke. So I'm pretty stoked for what's going on.
So take a step back.
Yep.
What's your take on the startup community? How are we doing? What are we doing well? What are we not doing well? And I know that you kind of see it through a certain sort of lens, right? Whether it's in the startup space yourself, also through Target and Techstars. So you have probably a better look at it than I do. So just talk to me about what do you think? How are we doing?
I think we're on the right track. And I mean that. We're even just in the last my exposure is over a period of 3 years.
Yep.
And even in just the last 3 years, the amount of companies that are coming out with fundraising is grown exponentially. The amount of just opportunities and awareness for what's happening has grown exponentially. I liked, so this is quoting back to what Patrick said at your event. I'm trying to remember exactly how he said it, but like doing stuff is great, but you have to like get some points on the board or whatever he said. Yep. So, and by that he meant, once some of these companies who are doing really well translate into successful exits or whatever the outcome is, that's really what takes us to the next level. And I think we're ready for that as far as we have the support and whatnot built up. So once some of those stones start falling into place, we're going to be in a really, really cool position. So I'm excited for it. I love seeing programs like Techstars come here. And as soon as Techstars was here, then, Generator comes into town, and then you see that a lot of these really household names in the startup community that were elsewhere are coming in, which is cool. And I think that will only continue to happen.
What are we not doing well at?
I don't know. I think I'm excited to see see what we can do as organizations in providing kind of like every single day value. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to do that over the next couple of years. So like what can Startup Week do? What can some of these other big organizations do to help provide value on a day-to-day basis outside of the events that we run? Other than that, I'd love to see, it doesn't go from 0 to 1 overnight or, 0 to 100 overnight. So I love seeing the trends in, what's happening on the investment scene, the accelerator front. I really do feel like we're in a good place.
So I have a question that I'm dying to ask, and I want to be careful how I word it. So kind of hear it all before you react, because I'm going to kind of put you on the spot unintentionally. So I've always thought of like Twin City Startup Week as being like startups, right?
Yep.
And we've been mentioning throughout the conversation, right? Target's been really involved.
Yep.
And originally, I was skeptical. Like,
Yep.
what on earth are they doing? It feels like they're like trying to take us, like they're trying to acquire the startup community. I guess I'm a bit of a homer in everything that I do, right? Go for football, we're 2-0, so of course we're going to the Rose Bowl this year. We have the best tech community in the world. I also want the startup community to be ours. And so,
Yeah.
talk to me about Target, and then if other groups have been talking to you too. That I've obviously now changed my tune, because originally I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, like why is their logo? And now I'm like, they've been like the best steward we have. So
Yeah.
I've come around. But talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah, and it goes back to kind of what I said, and that as far as like how our sponsorship works out, they just understand we are really good at what we do,
Mm-hmm.
and as a company, this is why Techstars is around and the partnership is around. As a company, there is a lot that they can learn, not only from these startups and how they operate, but even just the world of startups is very much, or entrepreneurship is very much built around mentorship. And as an entrepreneur, if we're successful, it's usually because we built that level of communication, built that connection, and that doesn't always happen in a large corporation, or it's not always as prevalent. And companies like Target realize that, and then also they realize it's pretty cool seeing a team of 10 people, make a product that can be scaled to a company like Target, just like that. When maybe their team of 100 engineers couldn't do it because they have different hoops and ladders that they have to jump through, and so they've been very, very cognizant of that, and I think they've done a very good job embracing it in the right way. So approaching organizations like ourselves, and basically asking for help rather than throwing money and demanding. And it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
They get, like I said, they give us the autonomy to do what's right, and then we no longer have to operate like a scrappy, underfunded organization.
Yeah.
We now have some dollars to do the right things, and we can help accelerate what we were going to do just that much quicker. So it's
So
cool.
if there are any other skeptics out there like me who haven't yet turned the corner, they should probably be a little more friendly towards the idea of the big companies and the small. Because I think, right, we talked to the big companies about that they need to change how they do things, and clearly the startup community needs to learn some lessons too, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, it's just really cool because they are actively looking to work with startups, and that can be a huge game changer. I mean, it's not a surprise that startup communities that are really, really successful are oftentimes built around places that already have large, successful companies.
Yeah.
I mean, it is not you're not competing in most cases. It's mutual growth.
Right.
So I understand the skepticism, and I'm the same way. It's hard not to think of the two as separate buckets. Like,
Yeah.
I never want to work for a corporate job. I want to be a startup or an entrepreneur forever. But when you really dig deep into it, there is a lot that can be learned from both sides, and it's cool. It's cool to see it happening.
So I got like one last question for you, and this is more just about you.
Yeah.
I know that we'll probably have a conversation at some point, just generally, like, what's next for you? Startup week will go through Sunday.
Yeah.
Nels takes a how many day nap, and like what then?
No, today's Tuesday.
I like how you had to think about it.
No, yeah, right. I didn't get a lot of sleep. No. Today's Tuesday, and this is a while back. So Techstars has its culmination today on Tuesday. It's just a hard stop right after that. So I don't have to put any more energy into that. And then there's the rest of Startup Week. I actually leave on Monday for Africa. So my dad and I like to climb mountains. It's our hobby. So we're going out to climb Kilimanjaro, and
Shut up.
I have done zero planning for it, which is absolutely terrible, and also kind of fun because shit, I'll be on a plane before I even realize it. Um, and then post that, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm fun employed, and I'll call it that. And I've done early stage startups since college, and I love them. I at the moment I don't know. It actually was really good timing. right leading up to TechStars, I was working on one, and then for many reasons, we decided not to go full time on it after the program. And so now I'm kind of looking to figure out what's next. And it's slightly ironic because I put so much damn time and energy into the fly-in program, getting other people jobs, and like I don't even have one myself. So I'm probably a terrible. People should not be listening to me because I can't.
That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah. I'm excited for it though. I'm really whatever I do next will be fun, and I'm really in no rush. So I've decided I'm taking a month off.
Good.
I haven't got camping as much as I want to.
Yeah.
So I go climb that mountain, go camp, and I'm very much that person that I go stir crazy if I'm not around or doing something.
Yeah.
So I'll go absolutely insane for the month of October, and then maybe I'm recharged enough to go back to an early stage startup. Maybe it's something else, whatever it is. I want to stay in the community somehow. I've kind of built my home here and really loved it. So it's exploring to see what's next. Which is cool.
I think that for anyone who will watch this, your heart's in the right place. You're a smart dude. Anybody would be smart to give you, what was it? First name dot last name at gmail.com.
First name dot last name at gmail.com. I got resumes I can pass out. They're not up to date, but
that's all right. I mean, like, because it is this part that we need to keep folks like you around, and we need to keep you engaged, right? And it's again, if we're going to bring people into our community, if we're going to fly people in, we should also keep the ones that are already here.
Yeah, no, it's a great point.
So that's my plug. That for those who will see this, Nels.Pederson with an O-N at gmail.com should probably be sending you an email. Be like, dude, let's get together after you climb a mountain. Because like, really, who says that? Hey, so I'm doing this TechStars thing, and we're finishing up startup weekend, and I'm gonna go climb Kilimanjaro. Like, who does that?
Just one crazy redhead dude.
Dude, I'm proud of you, man. That's awesome. Good for you. I know you got to run. You got things you got to be doing. I will see you later on today. And I will, as soon as this gets done formatting, I'm going to put it out as fast as I can today. So
Beautiful.
Even if it's during TechStars tonight or if it's afterwards or whatever. But like I know I can't speak on behalf of an entire tech community, but dude, thanks for what you've been doing.
I'm happy to help, and we're all volunteers. I mean, there are a ton of really, really great people that I didn't even talk about today that helped make this happen. So we're excited to see that it's getting received so well. So
cool. All right, Nels, take care of yourself.
Likewise. All right.
We'll see you later.
Peace.